The NBA has about 450 players, and each player plays a different position. Today, we are going to rank the best player from all 5 positions. Without further ado, let's get into our video. This one was hard because it was either going to be Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, or Kyle Lowry. But ultimately, we went with Steph Curry because even though he's injured and he recovered, he's probably going to play pretty good this season if he does play at all. But before he got injured, he was the best point guard in the league, so I'm expecting him to play the same after he recovers. And he averages, last season he averaged 27.5 points and 6.6 assists. He's also a very good playmaker, and he affects his team a lot and pretty much led them to a championship in 2015. If he doesn't play as I expect him to for the rest of the season, then this one would have definitely gone to Damian Lillard. Now for the shooting guard.
3 down to 2. It's a 3. Good! He got it!
This one obviously goes to James Harden because he is easily the best scorer in the NBA right now, averaging almost 40 points per game, which are numbers that we haven't seen for a while in the NBA now. And he also averages 7.5 assists. I don't know how that's possible because he's a literal ball hog. And 1.7 steals. And the way that he bends the rules, using them to his advantage, is just unbelievable. Especially his Euro step and his double step back, which many call a travel. But I personally don't think it is because, stuff. But yeah, I didn't want to give this the biggest flopper in the NBA. But I kind of had to. And it was a really close race between him and Paul George, but ultimately I went with James Harden. This is why we fear the beard. This one simply goes to LeBron James because he is by far the best small forward in the NBA. His only competition would be Kevin Durant, KD, who's injured right now. But even when KD wasn't injured, LeBron would still beat him by a good margin. I say this because he averages 27 points, leads the league in assists with 10.3 assists per game, is a top 3 player in the current NBA, and in my opinion is arguably the best small forward of all time, beating out guys like Larry Bird.
Stolen. Here's Middleton. Giannis trailing the lob. Oh!
This one goes to Genesis Akuna Matata, also known as the Greek Freak, because he dominates the paint and is a two-way superstar. I mean, he would get 1 to 2 blocks on one side of the court and then score almost 30 points on the other side. I say he's this good because he averages, again, about 30 points a game, 6 assists a game, and 1 block a game, plus 13 rebounds, which is one of the best in the league right now. And I had to give him the power forward title over Anthony Davis, AD, because he has a bigger impact on his team. I mean, who do the Lakers have? They have LeBron. So LeBron does most of the heavy lifting. AD is just like one of the best support players of all time and stuff, and he helps LeBron a lot. But Giannis, his team, the next best player is Chris Middleton, who is good. Don't get me wrong. He's a really good point guard. I mean shooting guard, of course. Duh, I'm not that stupid. So Giannis is slightly a better team leader than Anthony Davis ever was. Plus, he has an MVP and is likely to win MVP this season, so that's going to be back-to-back MVPs. Now our next position, the center, who is JaVale McGee. Calm down. It's a Jokic.
9 to shoot. Barton out to Jokic. Jokic falling away. Good!
Now, center was a difficult race between Jokic and Embiid. I mean, Embiid does get more blocks, rebounds, and points than Jokic, and they both are dominant centers, but Jokic gets more steals and more assists. He's like a center with the attributes of a point guard, and it would make a pretty good point guard in my opinion. It's just that he's really slow. That's the only bad thing. But overall, I think that Jokic would be a better player and makes more opportunities for his teammates and provides more value and worth for his team. So the best center in the NBA is Nikola Jokic. Honorable mention for point guard is Damian Lillard, who just barely lost to Steph Curry. Honorable mention for shooting guard goes to Paul George, who is really, really good, but slightly got beaten out by James the Beard Harden. The honorable mention for small forward is going to be Kawhi Leonard because he was an MVP candidate, led his team to an NBA Finals, and won, and is a top-tier player in the current NBA. The honorable mention for power forward goes to Anthony Davis because he's a really, really good overall player and is the most diverse player in NBA history. Joel Embiid gets the honorable mention for center because he barely lost to Jokic and he's very dominant, also a very good player. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe and share it with other people. And thanks, guys.